provides a home and work, as Bob was saying, for many people. It's also a lovely place, of course, to get fresh air and exercise. There's a gentleman there, I'd say, on his bike because of cyclists use the towpath, walkers use the towpath, artists, photographers, all kinds of people. One of them is called Helie Franklin. She lives very close to the canal. She walks to work along this stretch on the Cane Hill that I'm walking on now every week. Annie Martin joined her and her photographer husband, Chris, for a walk up the canal. Later we'll hear from some of the people she met. Let's first, though, hear from Helie and Chris themselves.
So we couldn't have picked a more beautiful day to do this walk. The birds are singing, there's barely a cloud in the sky this morning. Canal boats stretching all the way back up the loch and standing next to a bridge that will duck under, and then it will gradually take us up the Cane Hill flight of lochs. Helie, what a beautiful place to start your morning for work.
It most certainly is. It is a beautiful start to the day. It's refreshing. Early in the morning is when I come along here to start my day. And I meet lots of people that are friends, that are hello people. And we're all doing the same. We're all sort of drinking in the atmosphere before we have to face the rat race of the day. There are lots of people that walk their dogs, often see the heron. And there are little places around here that they look after the wildlife. There are some barrages across the pound so that the larvae doesn't get interrupted by the rush of the water through the lochs, so that there's feed for the birds. There's a little area where they've put some little cages and some roofing felt on, I believe, so that the newts can come out easier. Little things like that people, if you're in a hurry, you just walk by.
So, Chris, for you, what do you get out of photographing something like this? I mean, what's the most special thing for you?
It's capturing the sort of the moment, really, because no matter what part of the day or part of the year you come up and down the lochs and that, it's always something it's a bit spectacular to capture. It's a bit special. Even on the wet days and that, it's something to photograph.
And the seasons must be fantastic, being able to see them change. I mean, we're in May now, it's very green, but not that long ago there were almost no leaves on the trees, there were no bluebells. We were sort of still in very, very cold weather, and you must see that all change in front of you.
Very much so, yes, and especially this year, that we were very lucky in that because we had all that snow, and you get to see spectacular shots early in the morning as the sun coming up and all the snow.
Is there a particular time when you like to come here most? I mean, you mentioned the morning then. I mean, is there a particular time of season, particular time of the day that you absolutely have to be here, or you feel like you're missing out?
Usually early in the mornings, because the sun rises over the lochs looking up towards devizes, so you get spectacular sunrises, and so each day is slightly different with the seasons, because around solstice time on 21st of June you've got to be here about 4:30 in the morning to get the sunrise. Where obviously in the winter and that you only need to be up about 8 o'clock. But it's worth making the effort of getting up and seeing it. Probably must be about 11 years ago now, I got up very early on the solstice 21st of June, and it's about 4:30 in the morning. I sat at the bottom of the lochs and watched the sunrise. It's a mist. It's quite magical and quite mystical just to experience it. Just me and a few swans experience a new dawn. It was amazing.
Do you feel privileged to be witness to something like that, or do you is there ever a moment when you have to pinch yourself?
Usually most days when I come up here I've got to pinch myself, mainly to get the energy to go up the hill, but it is a bit special, and I feel very privileged to live in an area where I can actually see this ever-changing landscape of ours.
You grew up here as a child, so have you seen this area change and develop in those years from when you were a little tot?
Well, as a youngster, I used to come up here and play with my friends, but it's all derelict. There's no water in the lochs, so it's quite nice to see the development work that's gone on here to bring it open, so many people can now enjoy the lochs for walking or boat trips or cycling or even running, as we've just seen.